A bit of Perth support as well amongst the Japanese contingent, but the main noise is coming from a rather splendid rendition of Walk On. Bemused look. FC Tokyo have played Australian opposition in the AFC Champions League. They beat Brisbane 4-2 at home, lost 2-0 away in the 2012 group stages. This is a new opponent for them, and a new opponent in the AFC Champions League. Perth Glory about to make their way onto the big stage. 4-team group. The A-League Premiership winners in the 2018-19 season, preparing to come on to the big stage against FC Tokyo. Early team news we've got for you suggests that Christian Popovic is in the starting 11. Tony Popovic is the father of the central midfielder, so a big moment for him, and a big moment for Perth. They've got some experienced players out there, the likes of Neil Kilkenny, Tommy Machela, and Greg Wertrich, the Swiss, who used to play for Grasshoppers and FC Basel. He'll be alongside Alex Grant and Liam Reddy, 30-something. It is a very experienced side. There's a little bit of Southeast Asian interest as well. Joel Chiangrai will be playing on the right-hand side of a front three for Perth as they do prepare for their debut at this level. FC Tokyo, they've got three Brazilians leading their line: Leandro, Diego Oliveira and Adeilton. And a number of players who've had one or two caps in their career. Only Masato Morishige, the centre-back, has got a long-established Japan international career behind him, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they've played, a lot of their players have played in under 20, under 23 representative level. This is a very good squad to come runners-up in the J-League. You need to show a certain amount of quality.
You certainly do, Des. Fornaroli will enjoy coming up against those South American counterparts of his, hailing from Uruguay, but it is a very strong FC Tokyo lineup, Des, as you've mentioned.
For Kenta Hasegawa, no changes from the side that drew 1-1 against Ulsan. Do look out for Leandro, who is probably the most mobile of the front three. Hard-working midfield of Takahagi, Hashimoto and Abe. Referee and his assistants all from Oman. Yaqub Abdul Baki, who has been on the AFC list for 5 seasons now. Centre-back Watanabe is the captain alongside Morishige. And you see Diego Castro has been recalled to the side for Perth Glory from their from their weekend competition. The highly experienced left-sided striker is a Spaniard, and he really is the key. With Ninkovic not included in their AFC squad, Castro will provide a little bit of magic that they create with a lot of workhorses around him, the likes of Kilkenny and Popovic, Subion and Franjic. They'll do the work. Castro to provide the opportunities for Fornaroli and Chianese up front.
It is a really strong combination up top, Fornaroli and Castro. Hasegawa in the dugout obviously would have reflected on Perth Glory's performances recently. Plenty of games to have a look at. Tony Popovic in the dugout with his assistant Hayden Fox, who was an incredibly accomplished player in his own right also. Plenty of games for Perth Glory coming thick and fast. There's lots of analysis that FC Tokyo could have a look at with the A-League season boy in full flight at the moment.
And quite the reverse, because the J-League season doesn't start until this weekend. Tokyo in action on Sunday. But for now, their focus is very much on the task in hand. And Perth Glory, one of the greats, the only team to win pre-A-League and post-A-League national championships. They are really the archetypical Aussie side. They grew great support in their glory days. They had crowds of up to 40,000 in the grand finals. haven't quite been able to match those heroics until last season. Just waiting for the final countdown as Masato Morishige and Yujiro Takahagi just prepare themselves. This hitting the mark for kickoff times is very much an AFC thing. The players occasionally have to wait around and keep their spirits high, but we will be underway in precisely 1 second's time. It is Perth Glory who get us underway immediately into Popovic. Alex Grant. Chela. Push it long. Very high line immediately being held by FC Tokyo, PJ.
Certainly looking at keeping it very congested in that midfield area. FC Tokyo will certainly aim to play as much of the game in Perth Glory's half. Perth Glory really quite foreign to obviously this competition away from home. You'd imagine that first 15-20 minutes to be incredibly cagey. Tony Popovic obviously very, very familiar with this competition.
He won it. Western Sydney Wanderers.
Exactly, and with a team that, no disrespect to the Western Sydney Wanderers players, but were an incredible team of pretty good individuals. When they came together collectively, they were outstanding, and they rode their lock on occasion, but success in that competition was really built from a defensive platform.
It's Castro. Keeps it in play. Kilkenny. Killer, as they call him. Interesting character.
Important player in that midfield area for Perth Glory. Real box-to-box, loves the hard yards and the dirty work. Good distribution on the ball also. Demands so much of his players, Tony Popovic, not only tactically in the way they approach the game, but in their relentless desire to grind out results when it isn't going your own way. Certainly expect a similar performance from them this evening.
Chela hurried into the back pass there under pressure from the all-Brazilian strike trio. That's not the best ball played backwards. Might still break a little tug on the back there, the ball by Chiangrai. Morelli was closing in there as well, the Uruguayan.
Well, it is an exciting front three for Perth Glory. Chiangrai, clever on the ball, quick, quite dynamic. Fornaroli and Castro, both of them very comfortable on the ball. Both certainly know where the back of the net is. Castro, in particular, that real creative influence.
Abe wants it forward. Some good pace there, and the first real threat is dealt with. Borthwick, I think, is conceded the corner. I think he has. That is the call, and just a little indication there that they'll try to around the side of the big three centre-backs. They are all muscular players. This corner will be curled in by Leandro. Leandro. Dalton is 15, Diego Oliveira 9 in the penalty area. As well as Morishige and Watanabe. Doesn't make any of the aforementioned players, and easily picked up by Moroya. Meat and drink for Worthrick. Morelli. Kim Subam. Kim still involved in the move, couldn't keep it alive. Versatile player Kim, he can play either left or right in that wing-back position. Such an important role, and his fitness very important if that wing-back role is to work.
Very consistent in his level of performances. Very comfortable with both feet, really dynamic, love to burst forward and get forward and support. Imagine that he will be a bit more focused on his defensive duties in the early stages of this game.
Hashimoto out wide to Moroya. Watanabe. Hashimoto at the base of the three-man midfield. Agawa. Rashiga. Again under pressure. Goalkeeper has to work hard as well. Akihiro Hayashi gives that away only as far as Kim Soo-byung. Grant. Comfortable start if you're Perth Glory.
Certainly looking at keeping possession, knocking the ball around, and then we see the ball given away cheaply, which is generally the case when you're commentating. It has been a confident start. Perth Glory also aiming to defend high up the pitch.
Kim riding high above Moroya. Ball over the top. Murthrick is able to cover behind and then draw the foul off the diminutive Abe.
You certainly see FC Tokyo looking at trying to play the ball in behind and also in those wide areas of the back three of Perth Glory. Grant, Michello and Muthrick, both very big, strong defenders. Obviously FC Tokyo potentially feeling that they're not as mobile as they probably need to be in this game. And their intentions are very clear from the beginning of this half.
In these 6-game groups, it's you can't go hell for leather, but if you can win your first 3 games, you're virtually guaranteed a place in the next round. It's always struck me as a difficulty for coaches on how they should manage their team. Really go for glory early on, or just sit back and wait and pray it comes down until the last game of the 6.
It is such a different format as well when you think of obviously a domestic competition. You're playing over 30 games a year and you can be a little bit measured. You can build your way into it, and you've got to manage suspension and injuries throughout as well. But in many ways, the first stage of this is a 6-game season. And you just got to finish better than 50% of the teams and you progress through. It sounds fairly straightforward, doesn't it? But it is true when you're away from home, different styles, different contrasts.
Moroya. 2 fullbacks will try to get forward, and it'll be up to Castro and Chiangrai to just stop their forward runs. Width provided by Agawa. Abe, all very patient, all very neat and tidy. Agawa onto Abe. Hashimoto suddenly brings in Moroya, who controlled it but couldn't keep it under control. Takahagi. It's again a lovely idea. Picked up by Alex Grant. And fed out to Castro. The Spaniard, 36 years young. It's actually been dispossessed there by Takahagi. Good hustle to win the ball back there by FC Tokyo, and a ball spread out to the far side to Agawa. Franjic doing the covering. Agawa leaves it. Leandro onto Abe. Hashimoto. Plenty of blue shirts forward. Abe picks it up. Runs at Franjic. And then Agawa, 3 in the penalty area if the cross comes in. And Agawa's cross does come in. Werthrick half clears. Castro gets an important touch. Good pressing though from FC Tokyo. No free kick there, as again Castro is very, very quickly closed down. It's a feature of FC Tokyo, PJ.
Yeah, really strong passage of play there for FC Tokyo. Good build-up play, intricate passing to find that space out on that left-hand side, and still unable to get a clear cross into the box. Perth Glory doing very well to get bodies behind the ball and keep it very compact, but FC Tokyo really demonstrating the danger that they do have, even though it is a really solid bank of a couple of fours there for Perth Glory, still able to find their way around them.
Diego Oliveira wins the corner kick. He scored in the 1-1 draw at Ulsan last week. Alex Grant doing the defensive work, solid 26-year-old centre-back. And with all the Giants, it's largely zonal marking for Popovic's side. He was a centre-back himself, so he knows a little bit about defending. The header comes through, and Watanabe can't get there. Well, the referee has stopped the game because there's a head injury to Watanabe.
So it is a enormous long throw, massive long throw. Watanabe there, he's gone for the header. Just a little bit of shin on the chin. Seems to be okay. Massive throw. How often you say a throw into the back post?
Liam Reddy, the 33-year-old veteran.
He has been around for years, Liam Reddy. Very colourful character. His father was an outstanding rugby league player in Australia.
It breeds a certain kind of mentality.
It certainly does.
No steps backwards from rugby league players as Moroshiga wraps his body around Bruno Formaroli. He's got a good birthplace as well, born in the same town as Luis Suarez and Edison Cavani.
Pretty impressive footballers that have certainly come from that region. He really has been an absolute quality foreign player in the A-League. He was brilliant for Melbourne City, and a bit of disagreement.
Berthrick, Pomeroli, and Grant all up there. Chela heads towards the back post. Castro down to Chiangrai. Can he keep it alive? The answer is frustratingly for Perth Glory, no.
He had the right idea. He used his body very well. It was just as the ball rolled past into that byline, just really needing to whip it in early. Haven't been able to get any decent field position in FC Tokyo's half. Castro, such an important player for them, leading the line. Every time he's been on the ball, he's been closed down incredibly quickly.
Popovic. Morelli doing a good closing down. And then Grant finds Popovic. Do the simple stuff first as Franjic down the line. Gianese 2 in the penalty area. It's behind both Castro, though, and Formaroli, who'd made a run towards the near post.
Well, both of their runs were basically at the same level, need to be a little bit staggered.
Could be the first yellow card here. Referee digs into his pocket. Tomislav Machela picks up the yellow for the trip on a Daleton.
Machela being pulled out into a wide area. Not exactly an area where he would feel as comfortable as he does in the middle of the park. And he's, in all reality, absolutely nowhere near that. Completely beaten for pace. An area that FC Tokyo will certainly look to exploit as well, looking at trying to stretch that big back three for Perth Glory. Get them into those wide areas with a bit of space in behind them to be able to exploit.
Leandro told to move the ball back 2 meters. Assistant referee helping out the referee. Now in the correct position. Now it's the turn of the one-man wall to be forced back a yard or so. 6 to aim for. It's a good ball, well met by Daleton. He's frustrated with himself because he's got a full head on that ball, PJ Roberts.
He certainly has. Good shape from the delivery. Dilton, he really should have done better. Just slightly under it, couldn't get above it. He's actually just completely mistimed it. It's gone to header, it's come off the side of his head. That was a good opportunity, and one that, from a second look, was an awful lot better than what it initially appeared.
Even Franic. It's behind for Morelli once again. They're not far off finding the right pattern, but Bruno Formaroli and Castro twice have made forward runs, and the ball's being played behind them, so no direct attempts on goal for Hayashi to deal with, but danger from Perth on the break.
Movement has been decent. Getting bodies into the box, just that final ball has been lacking. Both teams, as we tick over past that 15-minute mark, just really starting to work their way into the game, being a little bit more comfortable.
Toko had more attempts on goal, 3-0, as we just alluded to. Perth making their moments as Popovic into the cross. Instead, Chiangrai. This time he does get to the byline. For Morali, just pipped in the air. What a great header that was. And Castro curls one in. That time Morishige defends, and then Hashimoto does the same. Some excellent defensive work to repel really dangerous balls into the penalty area. Wurtrick pings one out wide, but too far. Nice idea. Castro gives the thumbs up. What a ball this is, though.
A little bit deceiving, just clipped it to that back post area. Well defended as well. Fornaroli certainly was eyeing that off. Moroy had good body positioning, nice and close. Did everything right defensively. Well, it's been an intriguing opening 15 or so minutes of this game. We've seen reasonable quality from both teams. No real clear-cut opportunities at this stage, but certainly enough to demonstrate that we're going to see some entertaining football.
Possessional stats just about even, 52-48 in favour of the home team, Tokyo, as Oliveira turns away from Chianese. Hashimoto. Kilkenny just felt something on the top of his boot there. Didn't get the free kick, so he's back running like a gazelle. Wurtrick. Michela.
This is good defending. FC Tokyo just squeezing them in, closing the options.
Franic gets himself out of danger. Castro. Kilkenny. Popovic available. They've got a history of father managers and sons as players, have Perth Glory. McMahon, Edwards, now Popovic.
Yeah, Alistair Edwards, ex-teammate of mine, actually at Perth Glory at the same time. Yeah, it is a difficult situation to be in.
Again, pressing. There's nowhere to go, Wurtrick. But Perth not resorting to the long ball, as I would be imploring them to if I was coach or goalkeeper.
Well, Franic on that earlier occasion did a nice little turn and was able to force himself out of danger. I see Tokyo doing that really well. They're just slowly condensing the play, closing off the passing options, but full credit to Perth Glory. They're aiming to continue to play out of the back. Haven't seen much joy from it, but certainly aiming to maintain their composure.
Moroya couldn't keep it alive, but he's shown good defensive abilities, Moroya. bit short. Joel Chiangrai was closing in on that. Then he's nearly closing in. It might break to Formaroli. Rashigi did just enough. So pressing is the buzzword of this opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's been impressive from both sides. And Perth Glory just quite comfortable to retreat when they've had their little go of trying to win the ball back earlier and further up the park. Just retreat deeper, just close the passing lines, make it really compact.
Michela, trusted Kilkenny, Popovic, trust Worthrick. First time they've really gone long and they give the ball away. Up for by Agawa, Idaleton, lovely spin and turn. Took him away from Michela. Takahagi. Sliding challenge from Hashimoto. Good support coming from Leandro, who stays on his feet. Leandro drives forward. The ball put in, and lovely run from Oliveira and tracked. I think it's Alex Grant who gets the tackle in, PJ Roberts.
Desperate tackle as well. What a superb turn here from Oliveira. We'll see the ball's played in, and just first time just clips it in behind himself. So here's the turn here. Delightful turn, races onto it, and Grant does do tremendously well defensively to block that.
Michela, my mistake. Tomislav Michela had to get that block in. Otherwise, a second AFC Champions League goal of the campaign for Diego Oliveira. Dead Leandro with the corner. Hoists it high to the back post. Diego up there, and I'll bring in the old zonal versus man-to-man marking, because he's got a run at the ball, has Diego Oliveira there, PJ.
Well, he's at the back post, and the ball is flighted up towards that area. His physical presence and his ability in the air, you'd always want him being a little bit more central. He's hitting that central near post area with real pace on the ball. They do have excellent options from set pieces. A real threat with any balls into the box. Again, we see FC Tokyo just on this occasion just really comfortable pressing in those areas. It's where Perth Glory get into that midfield area where they're just finding it really difficult to hold on to the ball.
And centre back should be as fluent that. Castro gives the ball away, frustrated that Chiangrai wasn't cut. Run back by Franic. Popovic and Kilkenny. Happy just to keep the ball rolling. Kenny again finds a little bit of space. 14-time cap by Australia, Neil Kilkenny. Castro, out to Franic. Kenny, drive forward. Chiangrai available to win the penalty here. Castro, lovely movement offside against Chiangrai. But that was what, 12, 13, 15 passes or so.
Good build-up play down that right-hand side. So this occasion, very, very tight. Very tight. This one was perfect position. Castro aiming to hold the ball up. Marginally, probably a little longer than he would have liked. Forcing Chiangrai to drift into that offside position. Showing some reasonable signs of promise when they do the ball into those attacking areas. Perth Glory. See Castro just starting to get onto the ball a little bit more. Fornaroli not as much as he or Tony Popovic would have certainly liked at this stage of the game. It's a really rugged game in the middle of the park now, a real midfield battle.
And Ailton dropping a little bit deeper. Maroya. And Ailton. of those games where you've got to earn the right to play. Zagawa finds Leandro. He's dropping deeper. Adaleton's dropping deeper. Diego, Leandro, push it out wide. Moroya, 4 in the penalty area. Moroya lifts it up, and again it's Adaleton with the header. And a look of angst on his face, because that's a quarter chance, PJ.
It certainly is. Once again, Moroya with a pinpoint accurate delivery. Very, very accurate delivery. He's just able to get over top of it. Good pace and shape on the deliveries. They do look threatening from those areas, particularly Moroya with his quality on the ball. Whipping it in, he's got good options.
Nagawa, Abe, Hashimoto. Starting things this time for Watanabe to pick out the aforementioned Moroya. 25.5 minutes played. FC Tokyo 0, Perth Glory 0. Tokyo had more corners, more shots. Possession stats about the same, but he has really been able to take this game by the scruff of the neck. It's largely midfield, as we're seeing it. Premier champ. We're not going to make it easy. On the line from Daleton just eased away by Grant.
That's a good point, Des. Popovich, the tactical discipline it does in the team, particularly defensively. Let's see how drilled they are. Very specific fitness, organisation, league. Truly into seasons, you can see quite clearly how well organised they are. It is going to be a real key element of success for Perth Glory, is their ability to create opportunities when they are in possession, to maintain that same defensive solidity, but to be able to retain a little bit more possession, to create a few more chances going forward. I will expect FC Tokyo to also really build into this game. The league season hasn't started, so they're really into the early stages of their season, so I certainly expect them to get stronger and stronger as the game goes on.
FC Seoul versus Melbourne victory, and Chiangrai United against Beijing Guan, the other AFC Champions League matches tonight. This is hoisted in, looking for Michaela. Rose up really well, and PJ Roberts alongside me is saying, why didn't you come back across goal, Tomislav?
That's what he was aiming to do. You can see the reaction of his teammates as well. He just needs to nod it back. He's got into that position. He's done brilliantly. Wrong decision. Had bodies in the box. Really difficult to defend against when you've got that diagonal ball to the back post, then it's nodded back into play. As a defender, you're wanting to watch the flight of the ball, see where the ball's going to go. You're aiming to track your runner as well.
Which about something would still be going on about that. Not going back across the face of goal, would he?
I think he's a bit of sign language to my commentary there. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he was referring to. You work on those on the training ground. You know, you've got good options from set piece with big height, Charlie Grant, Worthridge as well. They're going to win many, many headers and probability stakes. So when you get a good delivery like that and you get teammates making runs for that second phase ball, something simple like that as a central defender nodding it back into play is brushing your teeth for that. And that sense of frustration certainly came out from Popovich then.
PJ Roberts, former Perth Glory and Malaysia and Singapore pro player, with the analysis of this AFC Champions League group stage match day 2 contest. Goalless at the moment as Takahaki leaves the ball behind. Franic. Hayashi slightly misjudged that. It looked like there was a cross, but it was maybe just too far under the ball. Safety first from Akihiro Hayashi.
He's misread it. You'd expect him just to collect that quite easily, but Franic just whipped it in. Hayashi's just gone for safety first, and can't blame him. Although Perth Glory are certainly a threat from the set piece as well, as we've witnessed FC Tokyo.
Castro short. Kilkenny. He's it to Machela. Again looking for the far post, claiming the corner. It did look like there was a deflection.
Yeah, it certainly did. Machela again at that back post. Good delivery. Castro and Kilkenny. He's just whipped it in.
Watanabe doing enough. Even though the call wasn't given, that's top draw defending.
It is very good defending.
Morishige. Now to Takahagi. Watanabe. Hayashi. Little wedge shot into the rough.
It didn't look comfortable whatsoever.
The pitch looks a little bit bobbly. To give the goalkeeper some defence, you want to be cautious.
I want to agree with you there, Des.
Okay.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
That's me told off, everybody. As Popovic.
Not at all, Des.
Worthrick. Kim. Second chance for Kim. And he's just into traffic. Takahagi does well. Played out by Leandro. Diego rather isolated.
It's got a good edge to it this game now. 30 minutes has crept over. Perth Glory just starting to work their way into the game. But again, FC Tokyo defending, loving the fact that both teams, when the occasion is right, are defending high up the park.
Galton trying to win the ball back against Ivan Franic, and does indeed win the throw. It is like a vice. They just slowly squeeze, or like a python. Adeilton. It was over Worthrick, but not over Machela. He picked up a yellow card earlier on. But at the other end, he's had two decent opportunities. Franic looks down the side. Agawa read that too easily. Just out of play. Agawa disagrees.
Hey, Castro starting to get on the ball in the middle of the park. It's getting quite stretched in that midfield area. We see with both teams aiming to defend high up the park, and the ball back is creating a little bit more space in that midfield area. Castro in particular is starting to see a little bit more of the ball.
Driving forward is Hashimoto. Kilkenny read that one. Castro just makes himself available in the little spaces, does Diego Castro. Pomeroli. Franic. Pomeroli's dummy. Castro couldn't get there. Leandro can come away with the ball for FC Tokyo. Moroya looks ahead though, and there's nobody in a blue and red shirt ahead of him.
This game's being played like it's the latter stages of the second half. Really open. The team's very proactive in their approach to this game, wanting to get bodies forward.
Diego. Agawa goes down by Chinese. Takahagi. Abe. Diego. Thought of the shot and eventually bloomed a shot along with the top.
That's frustration. Perth Glory, you can see just defensively are almost urging him to shoot from that distance. Defensively, it's almost a little bit of a small win when your opposition feels though they need to shoot from that distance. Oliveira, as you see, is drifting a little bit further wide to look at trying to pick up ball as well. There's that high press again. Just gradually.
Elton closes down on Michela. That's a lovely ball out to Manic. Kilkenny. Good youth football for England and Ireland before winning Australian senior caps.
They were just warm-up games, Des. Great. He's had a really impressive career, actually. What a wonderful adventure and journey he has had.
There's an arm over there, though, from Killer Kilkenny. Abe was just looking to nick the ball off him. Kilkenny raised the right elbow. There's no card, there's just a free kick.
D'Agostino on the bench. The heroes of the Australian under-23s. The AFC under-23 championship, where
they fluked their way.
It's all about Tokyo Olympics, wasn't it?
It certainly was. This is one of the venues for the football in the Tokyo Olympics. Daleton. The front three just haven't been
brilliant
able to get in.
When you look at that, don't you? Back three from Perth Glory. Brazilian combination up top for FC Tokyo.
Takahagi, Moroya loses out. Kitsubian again has done well. Castro was giving the ball away. Takahagi. Now then, a chance to break here. Adelton outside of him, looking for Leandro. And Castro, who lost the ball initially, slaps it clear, only as far as Agawa. Well, that's how quickly a game can change. Agawa. Takahagi, Abe. Long wavelength with Leandro.
Well, Dalton just demonstrating how dangerous he can be when he's got a little bit of space to manoeuvre. Very direct, strong, powerful runner. Leandro certainly hasn't seen as much of the ball as he would have liked. Cigar will no doubt look forward to that half-time break where he's got the opportunity to reassess the way that his team has approached the game. Be a little bit disappointed the way that this half has evolved.
Diego against Kilkenny. Good strength from Diego de Oliveira. Plenty of white shirts back. Takahagi lifts it in. Long left foot of Alex Grant clears.
Takahagi, that's a good delivery. Deceptive. Low and hard to that near post area. You force your opponent into defending it.
Misjudgment. Maria tries to capitalise. Subiam though. Not allowed to typecast really in the modern day, but Kim is the archetypical Korean, isn't he? Reliable. You know exactly what you're going to get. A 7 on 10 performance week in, week out.
You get the sense you can play him anywhere on the field and he put in a very consistent shift.
Hashimoto. Again, the banks of players just ready to defend. Diego. Castro did well not to put in the challenge, and again, Moroya to the byline. Defender by Kilkenny.
A little bit more patience demonstrated there by FC Tokyo. Kilkenny doing well. You just see here, Oliveira, there's so many bodies in the box. There's minimal room in which to manoeuvre, but lovely 1-2. And Moroya getting to the byline.
Leandro, 6 in the penalty area, 2 lurking just outside. Again, going to the back post. And driven back. Comfortable for Liam Reddy. I think it was Kento Hashimoto renowned for his goal scoring. Indeed, Agawa it was, who has got a good left foot. Other games going on tonight, being shown on the various Fox Sports networks. FC Seoul versus Melbourne Victory. An early goal for FC Seoul in the Korean capital. Chiangrai and Beijing in that group, and they kick off at 8 o'clock Hong Kong time. Lumpur time, Singapore time. Abe beats it into Abe. I've liked Abe's work. Adeilton down the outside, faced by Werdrich. Adeilton. It's a quick break for Hashimoto. He finds Moroya. Plenty of blue shirts waiting for the ball in. Werdrich can't get there, and Adeilton. Desperate lunge is ready once it drifts wide.
Yeah, look pretty comfortable already. It's a clever little play. Just clipping in behind that Glory defence. Adeilton is not a long way away from it. Moroya again, his distribution, this time on his left foot. So comfortable with his passing range. Very clever. It's been one of the best attacking outlets for FC Tokyo tonight, Moroya. His defensive wide back position, steps forward, comfortable taking it to the byline, cutting it in with his right foot or with his right foot from distance, just as equally comfortable cutting inside onto his left foot, driving passes as well.
4 corners to 1 for Tokyo. They've had 8 attempts on goal to 2. So once again, Hayashi eases the ball forward rather than strikes through it. Leandro, Adeilton, Leandro. Diego available, wanting it. Down the outside is Moroya. Marauding. Great ball in once again to the near post. I see why he's your favourite.
Best player on the pitch at the moment. He's just back on the halfway line defending. Just see, breaks the line. Good pass as well, but again, just the incisiveness of his run, but also this cross. Just keep it simple, whip it low and hard to that near post area. Force your opponent into defending. He's not trying to whip it into the back post.
Diego, Eddie will come through a ruck and climb above Watanabe. It's a good take from the goalkeeper. But every single corner from this right-hand side, all 4 have gone to the back post. Tokyo have won every single first ball, PJ Roberts.
They are a threat. They certainly are a threat from set pieces and corners. The Oliveri in particular. Dilton, Leandro as well.
Do you worry if you lose the first ball so long as you win the second?
Depending if that first ball, where it is, obviously they've been to that back post area and they've been obviously around 5 or 6 yards out from that 6-yard box, so don't be too concerned about losing that one, but you're definitely 100% spot on. It is that second phase where you just don't know where it goes. It's difficult to defend against. You nod it back into the box and everything can happen so quickly. You can only be a couple of yards away from your opponent and they can get the edge on you. Easiest way is obviously not to give away the corners in the first place, and you don't need to worry about it.
Chela wins the throw-in. Again, the vice-like press from Tokyo. It's almost like a tidal wave coming in. There's pressure from the defenders, which pushes the midfielder, which pushes the forwards forward. There it is again. Takahagi.
Just all in unison. You can see that first line of defence is the attacker makes the run, and everyone follows suit afterwards.
Agawa. Werdrich, the Swiss posing centre-back. Diego. Extravagant ball out to Moroya. Leandro. He hits the deck, and the assistant referee and the referee, both from the Amman, decided it was Leandro just trying to buy a free kick. PJ?
Well, Grant was pretty emphatic about his behaviour. Certainly go to ground a little bit easier than he probably should have.
Approaching half-time. You can't call it a thriller, but you can call it absorbing.
It's been very, very tight contest. Absorbing is a good way to describe it, Des. We haven't seen any real clear quality chances, but we've seen intricacy tactically around the way that both teams have set up in this game. Really enjoying the high press from both teams on occasion. There's been good quality when in possession, aiming to try and release those attacking players that get some reasonable shots on goal, but both teams defensively have just been so robust and difficult to break down, almost cancelling each other out. But we have certainly seen enough quality on the pitch from both teams to, when that opportunity comes, can they take it?
High line being held by Tokyo. Machela is the target. Machela can't quite get there. Good defending once again by Watanabe. Noah bangs it forward, looks for Abe. That's an awkward one for Reddy. Diego was trying to close him down, but Liam Reddy. Safety first. A tighter ground that's into the stands. So half-time whistle goes on an absorbing game. Diego Oliveira probably coming closest when he's swept away from Machela, only for Machela to get the shot back. Morelli and Castro have led the line well for Perth Glory. They'll be relatively happy with the goalless first half, PJ Roberts.
I think it's been a good performance from both teams. FC Tokyo, for me, certainly larger room for improvement. Hasegawa will certainly have plenty to say at half-time, but it is an intriguing match, and we're certainly in for an exciting second half.
Second half will be coming up exclusively here on Fox Sports, but it's goalless at the Tokyo Stadium. Half-time, FC Tokyo 0, Perth Glory from Australia 0.
PJ Roberts and Des Corkill, your commentators this evening. A very